This is lesson 9.1, line plots. We can use a line plot to help us find the average with data given in fractions. First example, we have students measured different amounts of water into beakers for an experiment. The amount of water in each beaker is listed below. So if we want the total amount of water, if the total amount of water stayed the same, what would be the average amount of water in a beaker? So what we're going to use the line plot to actually see our data, and then we're going to follow the steps to figure out what the average is. All right, line plots, we have the three different sizes of water cups is 1/4 cup, 1/2 cup, 3/4 cup, and then on a line plot we just put an X for every one of those cups that we have. So far we have 1/4 cup. This is our 2nd quarter cup, our 3rd quarter cup, our 4th quarter cup. We have another quarter cup, another, and our last quarter cup. So there are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quarter cups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For our half cups, we have 1 in the top row, we put an X down, 1 in the bottom row, we put an X down. So we have a total of 2 half cups. 3/4 cup, they've already marked one of the 3/4 cup for us. We need to mark the next one and then the last one. So there's 3 of the 3/4 cups. Now we want to count the number of cups in each amount. We've already put the X for the numbers for each one of the numbers. So like we said, in 1/4 cup, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1/4 cups, we have 1, 2 half cups, and we have 1, 2, 3 3/4 cups. We'll find the total amount of water in all of the beakers that contain 1/4 of a cup. Since there are 7 beakers with 1/4 of a cup of water, that means there are 7 fourths, or we would write that as 7 fourths. Or we can, when we change that into a mixed number, we change that into 1 3/4 cup. Step 3, we're going to find the total amount of water in the half cups. We know there are 2 beakers with half cups of water, so there are 2 halves, which we would write as a fraction 2/2, or we know that anytime the numerator and the denominator are the same number, that's equal to 1. We find the total number of waters in all the 3/4 cup beakers. We have 3 3/4 cup beakers. We multiply that by the 3/4 in each cup. Again, you can put a 1 under your whole number, multiply numerators, multiply denominators, and then simplify, changing our 9/4 into 2 1/4. Now we have our total amounts. We have our 1 3/4, we have our 1 cup, and we have our 2 1/4. We're going to add all of those together to get the total amount of water. Already have our common denominator, so we can go ahead and add our numerators. 3 plus 1 is 4. Denominator stays the same. And then add our whole numbers. 2 plus 1 plus 1 is 4. Now again, we need to go ahead and simplify that. We know that anytime 4 are the same number over the same number, that is equal to 1. So we're going to add that to our whole number. So 4 4/4 is actually equal to 5. Now to be able to find the average, we divide the sum that we found by the number of beakers that we had to all together. So we divide our 5 by the total number of beakers, which is 7 plus 2 plus 3, and that would equal 12. So we're going to take 5 divided by 12. Now remember, when your dividend is smaller than your whole or your divisor, this number will end up to be a fraction. So your dividend becomes your numerator, divisor becomes your denominator. Again, double check to make sure you cannot simplify, but we cannot. So the answer is 5/12. on the back, it tells us that we can use, this is for the problem on the front, we can use order of operations to solve this. This is not going to be required as far as the way that you solve it, but basically they're taking all of these steps that we have took on the front page, combining them into one problem using parentheses and brackets and order of operations. So in this case, of course, to get rid of our parentheses, that's where we always start. 7 times 1/4 is 7/4. 2 times 1/2 would be 2/2 or 1. And then 3 times 3/4 is 9/4. We've gotten rid of our parentheses. Now we perform our brackets. So we can add our 7/4 plus our 1 and our 9/4. 7 plus 9 is 16. 16/4. We divide 16 by 4, that's 4, plus our 1 more, that's 5. We end up with the same division problem at the end to find our average. So 5 divided by 12 will equal 5/12. An example that we have for our story problem, we have they divide 3 2-ounce bags of rice into smaller bags. The first bag is divided into bags weighing 1/6 ounce each. The second bag is divided into bags weighing 1/3 ounce each, and the third bag is divided into bags weighing 1/2 ounce each. So we're going to find the number of 1/6, 1/3, and 1/2 ounce rice bags, and then graph the results on the plot line. Anytime you are making a plot line, you should have a title for it. And the title, what we're actually finding, these are, since it's 1/6 ounce, 1/3 ounce, 1/2 ounce, this is the weight of the rice bags, or weight of rice bags, and that is in ounces. All right, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to use division to find out how many of each of these we can fit in. So we're going to take our 2-ounce bag, because each one of these bags is a 2-ounce bag, and we're dividing it by a different size ounce. So we're going to take our 2-ounce bag and divide it by 1/6. We know we can do that by multiplying by the reciprocal or flipping our divisor and changing that to 6/1, which actually is the whole number 6. So 2 times 6 is 12. Do the same thing here. We know this 2 divided by 1/3 is the same thing as 2 times 3, which would equal 6. And 2 divided by 1/2, again, we know is the same thing as 2 times 2, which would equal 4. So then we go ahead and we plot our information onto the plot line. We have 12 1/6 ounce bags. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 6 1/3 ounce bags. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have 4 1/2 ounce bags. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've taken the information in the story problem and we have made our plot line. We'll do one more example that is very similar to the homework on the front page. It is Lily needs to buy beads for a necklace. The beads are sold by mass. Remember from science class, you know that mass is how much force of gravity an object has on Earth. She sketches a design to determine what beads are needed and then writes down their sizes. The sizes are shown below. So we're going to go ahead and make finish our line plot. They've already started it for us. They've already marked 3 of the 1/5. So we'll go ahead and cross off 3 of the 1/5. Make sure there are no more that we need to add, and there are not. Then we can move to the 2/5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. then we can go ahead and move on to how many 3/5 gram our beads we have. We have 1, 2, 3. And then our 4/5 grams, we have 1, 2. All right, so now we've completed our line plot. Now they're going to ask us questions. What is the combined mass of the beads with the mass of 1/5 gram? So the combined mass would mean the total weight for just the beads that weigh 1/5 of a gram. So we know that there are 3 x's above the 1/5 line. So we know that that is 3/5, or we can write the fraction 3/5. Number 2, what is the combined mass of all the beads with 2/5 of a gram? Again, we're only looking at the 2/5 in this case. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what we're really doing is taking our 5 times that weight of 2/5. And we can go ahead, 5 times 2 is 10. The 1 times 5 would be 5. 10/5 simplifies to 2 grams. What is the combined mass of all of the beads of necklace? So in this case, we're going to have, we know the 1/5, we know the 2/5. So on our own, we're going to have to figure out 3/5, 4/5, and then add all of those together. So we're going to need a little bit more room to be able to do this. Our 3/5 total weight, we're going to take our 1, 2, 3 times 3/5. And we'll go ahead and multiply across. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 5 is 5. That's going to simplify down to 1 4/5. Then for our 4/5 total weight, we're going to take our 2 times 4/5. 2 times 4 is 8. And then we'll simplify 8/5 to 1 3/5. So now we have to take all of our total weights for each size and add them together. So we're going to take 3/5 plus our 2 plus 1 4/5 plus 1 3/5. Then we can go ahead and add, we all have fifths as a common denominator, so we can go ahead and add our numerators. We have 3 plus 4 plus 3, which gives us 10. Denominator stays the same. And then for our whole numbers, we have 2 plus 1, which gives us 4. Simplifying this, we know that 10/5, if we divide 5 into 10, we come up with 2, whole number 2. So if we add 2 to our 4, total weight of all of the beads is 6 grams. Now they want to know what the average weight of the beads of the necklace is. So to be able to do this, we take our 6 and we divide it by the number of total beads we have. So we count the X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So if you want to make a little note, the divisor in the average comes from counting the X's. And then again, in this case, since the dividend's smaller, it's going to end up to be a fraction. So we can make this 6/13. That does not simplify, so our final answer is 6/13 of a gram.